Are y'all still supporting the process? Cause I'm not. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not. I don't know what the hell's going on with the Sixers, but I'm not part of that at all. Anyhow, welcome back to another episode of your favorite basketball show, BallDontLieUk, with yours truly, Humphrey. And on this episode, we have a jam-packed episode. So we'll be talking about the game that happened a couple nights ago with the Sixers and the Hawks. Actually, game 4 and 5. How the Sixers blew an 18-point lead and a 26-point lead. Yes, 26-point lead. We'll also take a look at Paul George, player of P, the real player of P. His monster night at the Utah Jazz with 37 points and 16 rebounds, something crazy like that. We'll also take a look at my GOAT, Kevin Durant. I don't know why I didn't make a video for it, but we'll take a look at his monster performance as well with 49 points, 17 rebounds, 10 assists, something like, you know? He does that in his sleep, but we'll take a look at that one as well. Take a look at the game that happened last night as well with the Bucks and the Nets, which was game 6. Unfortunately, the Nets dropped that one, so we have a game 7, which I can't wait for. I cannot wait for. And also take a look at, we'll preview tonight's games, which is game 6 for the Hawks, Sixers, and also the Utah Jazz Clippers game. But there is nowhere else to start but with the Sixers. Well, where do we start? So in game 5, I want to say, yeah, game 5, the Sixers were up 18 points and some way, somehow dropped that game. So now, and in game 6 as well, they were up 26. I was watching that game and I turned the game off. Halfway through, I'm like, yeah, this is done. This is just a formality at this point. You know, they're just gonna bounce the ball, and game's done. Sixers win, whatever. Go to game 6, sweet, clean up shop, rest up a little before, the Eastern Conference Finals. Lo and behold, I wake up the next day and look at my phone. What? The Hawks, they clawed back some way, somehow, ended up winning this game with Trae Young having a monster. What did he have? 39 points and 7 assists. He's a monster for someone that's so small. And I said this earlier on in a couple of my videos ago, that you can do all this crazy stuff in the regular season, but in the playoffs, that's when the light shines the brightest. That's when things are magnified and people actually see what you do. They actually pay attention to what you do. And he's been on an absolute tear. And I'm so happy for him, because I like to see stuff like that. And he's a little cocky with it as well. And I love it. Do you know what I mean? And yeah, all credit to him. But the Sixers, yeah, no. I don't know what's going on with them, because Embiid, in the first 3 quarters, he literally has his way with Capella. Scoring, I think he's probably averaging like 32, 33 points in this series. Literally having monster stat lines every game. But then it gets to the 4th quarter. I remember I said as well, he's nursing like a little meniscus tear in his knee as well. So that kind of hampers him a little bit. And the 4th quarter, it looks like he gasses out a little bit. I'm not sure why that happens, but he kind of stops scoring. He keeps settling for the 3-point shots where he blows too hot and cold with his supporting cast. Tobias Harris, he's been very mediocre at best, and he's getting paid coins. He's getting paid a lot of money, and he's not providing the goods at all. And that brings me also onto Benjamin Simmons. He has been terrible this series. Yeah, he's named first team all defensive team, whatever it's called. But I know I said in a couple of videos ago that he's he kept Trae Young quiet, but that was for only 1 game. Trae Young done little adjustments, doing more of the pick and roll, picking off Ben Simmons, and he just looks tired. He just can't get a hold of Trae Young at all. So on the defensive end, he's not where he makes his money. He's not producing there, and offensively he's just non-existent. At this point, they might as well play 4 against 5, because Simmons, he's been very ineffective, and he like I said as well with Giannis, but to a lesser extent with Giannis, because Giannis can score better than Simmons. Don't get me wrong, Simmons can, you know, score you 30, 40 points at any given night, but it's very few and far between. But with Giannis, he can score a little bit more. But with Simmons, God, he's just it's like they're doing the hack a Shaq thing where they intentionally foul you to get you to the free throw line. And when they do this, because the Sixers have had massive leads in these last 2 games, it stops the clock, you know, so it kills the Sixers' momentum. And Ben Simmons, I think I read something somewhere where it said he's been the first guard, if you count him as a guard, which he is. He's a guard. He's missed 10 plus free throws in a game. The first time ever done in the NBA. I don't know if in the NBA history or NBA post-game history, but either way, that's a terrible record. You don't want to be on that side of the record. So his productivity needs to improve, or else the Sixers will get bounced out. And for as good as the team they are, and I keep saying in my previous videos that Sixers are too good, too big, too strong, but in the playoffs, if you take a team for granted, they will catch you lacking. Do you know what I mean? And for the Clippers, for the Sixers' sake, I hope, you know, that doesn't happen for them. But the way it's going, it looks like it. And last but not least, just to quickly touch on Doc Rivers, his playoff record, it cannot keep going like this, because the reason why he got sacked from the Clippers is because he blew a 3-1 lead against the Denver Nuggets, I think it was, yes. And they had significant double-digit leads in those 3 games that they blew as well. So he can't keep, and I read a stat somewhere that he's had one of the worst, or like he's lost the most Game 7s in playoff history. And yeah, that's just not a good record at all. So he needs to get his team playing their best basketball, or else they will get bounced out. But this whole trust the process thing, I don't know if their fans are trusting the process, because right now they're not giving them enough. They're not giving them much to trust at this point. But we'll see how that goes. Tonight's game, they face the Hawks at the Hawks. The Hawks, they don't really have much to lose. I don't see them winning this game again. I'd love to see them win. You know what? The Hawks are gonna beat the Sixers tonight and they'll advance. So when this video comes out tomorrow, the game would have been played, and we'll see how that turns out. But we'll just leave that alone for now and move on to Paul George and the Clippers. Paul George dropping 37 points, like I said, and 16 rebounds. Moving into that game, I didn't really trust Paul George to do much, or the Clippers in that sense, because the Jazz have like a 35-1 record at home this season. They're the best home record team. They just don't lose at home. Whoa, they just don't lose at home. And yeah, Paul George and the Clippers went there, caught them cold, and yeah, beat them. The Jazz scored 17 threes in the first half and were only up by 5 points. So if you've given the other team your best shot and they're still within touch and distance, then you're screwed. And that's exactly what happened. People forget Paul George was a star player. He was the #1 option at the Indiana Pacers and also at my beloved OKC when he was in top 3 in MVP discussion. Paul George can produce these type of performances. Of course, when Kawhi is there, he's just gonna be the second option, unfortunately. But with Kawhi not being there, Paul George is and will be the Clippers' first option. But he's had incredible support from Reggie Jackson and also Marcus Morris. Big credit to Ty Lue as well. I really questioned how good of a coach he really was, but he's proven me wrong. He's proven me wrong. And tonight's game against the Jazz, they have the chance to close them out and advance to the Western Conference Finals. Of course, there is a little bit more of an expectation on the Clippers to close them out this time around, and we'll see how they fare with that amount of pressure on them. And lastly, we'll move on to, like I said, my GOAT, the best player in the world, Kevin Durant, scoring 49 points, 17 rebounds, and 10 assists in a game that I thought there's no way the Nets will beat the Bucks, because the Bucks are probably the only team left in the league that hasn't had any significant injuries at all. They've only had one injury to Dante DiVincenzo, I think his name is, but he's not as significant to the team as like a James Harden or Kyrie Irving. But they've been the healthiest team the most, and KD literally had his way with them. Yeah, I mean, efficient, 16 of 23, scoring 49 points. Like I said, 17 rebounds, 10 assists. That's insane. And won them the game. Obviously, the game that happened last night, the Bucks pulled that one out. My voice keeps breaking, but we'll keep on moving. So the Bucks won Game 6 last night, and even the series sending us to a Game 7 with Brooklyn tomorrow. Tomorrow being Sunday. A Sunday night, and hopefully the Nets win that one, because like I said, I'm a Kevin Durant stan. Wherever he goes, I go, and hopefully, you know, he beats the Bucks and ends up in the Eastern Conference Finals. But it's going to be very exciting. I can't wait to see you know, how those will turn out. And yeah, the playoffs is picking up nicely. It's shaped up extremely well, and I'm intrigued to see how these 3-2 games will fare with the Hawks, Sixers, and also the Clippers Jazz. If you have any you know, suggestions of anything, like I said, that you want to see, put them in the comment section. If you want to, you know, talk to me about anything to do with basketball, we can, you know, talk, and send me a DM on BallDontLie on Instagram. I'll just leave them in the comment section, and we'll talk about it. But I appreciate you guys for watching. Hope you enjoy the show, and I will see you guys in the next one. And remember, ball don't lie, baby.